This class is about so many things that is been happening. Especially, I say to all the community is it's very important that you constantly being aware of where you are stuck. Now, some people might be stuck in their bodies because that's the desire of the body. It might be just an addiction to food or feeling of intimacy as a longing, as a desire. Or some people can be totally stuck in the mind where it is totally thoughts in the same space of what is right, what is wrong, what is happening, what is this. And there's someone is stuck in the mind. Now there is a third place is where you are quite empathetic and you find that empathy, sympathy to others, kindness to others, also if that is troubling, that you're constantly going and helping people, but then that whole thing again turn into that, oh no, I am tired, I am worried, I am this, I am that. Then even that is more better than the other two places, which is the body and the mind, then you're still stuck in there. Now the fourth place is the space of the Turiya, which is transcending. You become aware of your stuck and you try to avoid getting stuck in these places of the body, places of the mind, places of the heart, and you elevate. And there's a transcending place that is an evolved place of the heart. Now, why I'm doing this practice, because I got messages and calls, even I don't take it later in the night at 10 o'clock, that someone's partner has left. Now, you really have to come into this place to understand where you are stuck can be the desires, where you can be stuck in the place of you just miss that having someone, but not allowing in that space to evolve and use it. Where is this sadness coming from? Where is this ownership coming from? So I'm going to use the class and I'm going to pinpoint into the areas, not necessarily there is any relevance to you, but if there is, I'm more than happy for you to take the places and very gently, psychosomatically coming into that transcending place. If you're a body person, let's try to come into the awareness of that space. If you're a mind person, just come into that awareness of the mind. If you're in the heart space, come into that place and transcending, because our whole life is meant to be evolved, not to get involved in any of these levels of the dimensions. Because when you come into that place of Turiya, your creativity, you will answer a lot of your problems. Your problems comes from where you are stuck, and the solutions are all there in this transcending journey. So I welcome you into that space today by saying that take a deep breath in and allow your shoulders to roll back, open up, gently focus on the breath, and take this mudra, the Garuda mudra. So the right hand on top of the left like this, very gently, crossing the thumbs gently, but the fingers are spread, and very gently bring that space of the mudra into the chest and take a couple of deep breaths. Just releasing that tension wherever I am stuck, wherever I entered into the practice to find the answer is a good direction to find where it is. I'm very gently slowing that breath into the space of the transcending journey, transformation, transitioning, especially in Easter that we are celebrating that transition times from a physical to the space of the spirit, space of that awareness where all things are happening, just letting go of that part that you identify, the body, the mind, the house, the money, and then even the heart, even the thoughts. That's coming into that space that you're gently becoming aware of that space. I will gently move the camera towards Darren. If the postures are what you're looking at this moment, then there will be a direction through those. Now very gently move that mudra gently and release the tension of the body. And releasing with that out breath. Now take a deep breath in and arms raised onto the crown. Interlacing the fingers, palms facing up. Gently push your elbows out and allow that armpit to very gently be opened up into the space of the air, space. And gently extending that spine a little bit more. Shoulders totally relaxed. The face muscles are relaxed. There's nothing to do with the body and the mind. Even we are entering into the practice through those areas. And very gently, you're twisting the spine very gently to the right side. Releasing that tension that's occurred through the body. Now take a deep breath in, and you're coming back into the center. Change the leg formation. Arms raised onto the crown. Palms onto the namaskar position, and then interlacing the fingers, stretch up. Now very gently see whether you're in the space of the mind. You're interested in logic. You're interested in right and wrong. You're interested in so many things. And very gently at this very moment, twisting the spine to the left on the out breath, releasing, and you become more sensitive, now more alert. Because the mind is very aggressive. Mind is like a scientist. It wants the profit of all matters. Now back to the center. Arms raised onto the crown. Bringing the palms onto the pranam position into the space of the heart. Now you have come into the more of the strength of the mind as a male energy, and you're coming into the more subtle energy. You're coming from the logic, you're coming into the space of love. Now you can look at where you are stuck from this space also. Where anyone is functioning. Now very gently, the heart version of the body is different to heart realization. Mind version of the heart is different to the heart consciousness. Now take a deep breath in and very gently taking a Om in this place and transcending into that awareness of the transcendentalness, where all these desires to stay in the body and the mind and overprotecting it, and simply to be with it in that space of releasing the tension of all your matters. Now take a deep breath in. Transcending from the futures and the past, just in this moment, in its fulfillment. And release the arms onto the knees and gently elevate that space. Now take a deep breath in, arms raised onto the crown. Palms onto the Namaskar position in the space of the crown chakra, the divine space. That you don't have any realization. You just come into the space of that Shiva says, no head, and just inquire within yourself, and it's not very difficult. If it is not the body, the food and all that other desires, where are you? Now you're coming into the space of the Turiya. Now very gently keeping the practice in that space of the Turiya, and gently breathe out and release the palms onto the floor. And take a deep breath in. And very gently bringing the left leg into the back. Opening up the chest and elevating that space of the heart. Now that you have worked on those desires, because when the desires are not met on the body, the rage and anger is there. Now gently take a deep breath, look up, extend the spine, breath out, drop the elbows, walk those palms and releasing that tension that is as a stagnation, as a blockage, wherever it is. Now very gently, if you are more filling into the chakras, you can see every emotion has this falls within the range of the 7 colors, the chakras. So keeping in this, if you're addressing the red, and then it belongs to the lower chakras. If you're addressing in which more lighter colors, and coming into that space of understanding. You don't have to express in words, but some will come into the space of the colors and the energies. And they might be seeing the release as those energies. Now take a deep breath in and gently coming back, shoulders relaxed and just open, elevate the space of the heart. First time you're opening up and sitting with your vulnerability. Vulnerability is aliveness. You become aware of your existence in an entirely different way. But this happens when you fall in love, when you totally have no control of it. But then the body comes again, how to have the ownership of it. Gently coming into a plank. Stronger very gently on the pelvic floor muscles, keeping that back head not tilting backwards totally, but keeping the extension of the spine and very gently breathing. Very gently through that space of the heart consciousness, balancing these two energies, the sky and the gravity. So you can feel the earth and the grace together. Now very gently drop the knees. Now very gently stretch the spine into the back, palms facing up. Just keeping this balance between in the start of the practice. Then we will move through the energies. Now very gently crawling and bringing the chest into the front. Now the throat has to be open, chin has to be placed slightly tilted forward, and heart, these are essential points that you're working. but they are also essential points that you can harness the energies of the cosmos. Now drop the belly. Slowly soften the hips. Now, very gently breathing in into a gentle cobra. Experience that unconditional energy, the energy that blossoming through the chakras. Open up the space of the heart, third eye. Now, also, this is very much more than stuck. See where you are denying your existence in. Relax the third eye onto the floor and fist on the third eye. Very gently getting that pituitary and the pineal energy to align with the practice today. And when these energies are aligning, the moment you will forget yourself, forgetting means forgetting the desires of the body, desires of the mind, desires of the ego, desires of all those selfishness. So this is a great place if someone has left the relationship. You've seen that, not as a loss. Feel this energy is much more higher than important of yourself. The true nature of your being is not to hold things. Palms onto the where the elbows are, breathing in into an up face. So I want you to gravitate towards the space of the sky and the earth, but holding on one chord of the spine. Not belonging to the body, but you have become the very life. Breath out towards the down face. Now, gentle with your down face. This is a great way to release the tension on the backs, arms, wrist, fingers, toes, belly, hips. Now, even when you come into this place, just observe that your ego does not immediately want it to own this experience forever. There is nothing forever. Your life is meant to live by moment to moment or to a future security. Now, very gently bringing that left foot into the front, into the pigeon pose. Very gently, you warm up the knees, you warm up the hips, take a couple of moments to engage with the breath. And very gently, even at this very moment, to control this emotion, just observe the attachment to the emotion. Shoulders roll back gently. Take a deep breath in, drop the elbows, walk those arms into the front, and finding that balance. So now, let's say hypothetically, you have a great relationship with someone or relationship to something. Don't look at it like you're looking at on a profit and loss account. Then the thinking part has alert and you're stuck in that. At this very moment, that transitioning energy is much more profitable in a sense of logic. Not that it is a word that I'm using, try to get the essence of where I'm pointing at. There is so much richness There is so much awareness because your inner wealth, which you are carrying, is a creation of this life, is a gesture of love. It is a gesture of love. Yeah. You could see the air. You could see and feel the space of the wind, the trees, the giggle of a human laugh, a child. So when you're trapped in the mind, you're trapped into the words. If you're trapped into the body, you're trapped into the feelings. But if you extend yourself into that realization, everywhere you look at also it's echoing of the gesture of love, isn't it? Are you with me with this now? So there is no dealing with any attachments because that's where you are poor. So in the space of that heart, there is abundance, there is a being sharing everything. That's what the essence of this Christ conscious on these days. Don't allow the mind come into the space of that. Now take a deep breath in, very gently coming back. Shoulders relax, just open. Of those palms, release the tension of the knuckles. If there is slight pain, if there is any control in the mind, there's a control in the body. Also, when something is leaving, don't come into the place of finding answers for it. When is he or she coming back? Don't allow the mind to get into where to get the other, and you do to get the other. But what is important is you're connecting into your own love. Strong in the pelvic floor and coming into the space of a plank, strongly elevating that space back of the head. So there's no tension on the neck and the head. Now very gently drop the knees and stretch the spine. And this space that you're stretching the spine and releasing the tension of this load that you are constantly carrying, and then you're screaming at the world about love and all these words. But now you are in that space of energetically getting charged. No other, no matter. It's not about writing cards, writing texts. None of these matters. Let your energy become the presence. So your love can get pulled into the gravity of the body, the desire of the sex, desire of the touch. I'm not saying not to have that, but relation is very different to that space of the love. So when people go into these levels of attachment, they are quite empty, so they want the other to fill you. Without even you knowing them, when you feel that you have gone and have a conversation with someone, you feel drained. So be conscious about it. If someone want to work with the heat of your fire, let them bring their own logs also and contribute. That's the only way they can express the energy. Our palms facing down, crawling and bringing the chest into the front, breathing in into a gentle up face. Bring that energy into the space of the heart, space of energy, space of prayer, praise of everything. Down face. Now lifting up onto the toes and gently pushing down the heels and very gently releasing the tensions of those shackles that you suddenly feel energetically. You can't take the steps forward. You feel you're hold and held and stuck. Just releasing that verbalization, release that explanation. When this energy happens into the space of Turiya, there is no need to think. Now you're feeling the feeling of your being. Now very gently take a deep breath in, left foot up into the back, left knee to the chest, breathe out, stretch back, stretch the head down, releasing the tension, left knee onto the right elbow, switch back, left foot into the front, now bringing the left foot into the front, arm stretching to the back, palms rest onto the ground, interlacing the fingers, palms facing up, palms onto the pranayama position. And keep the spine straight very gently, coming into the space of the experience, coming into the moment of the gift, coming into the understanding and realization and transition. Now you are in the space of the unity. It's like the sun is in the middle and everything is in the rotation of that energy vibrating, opening up into the Virabhadrasana. Take a gentle mudra of this understanding and devotion to the practice. It's not about talking about things, but your profound moment is when you're living that life, living that moment. And that is the space of the joy, unconditional connection with life. And this is the only person who can love others. Gentle arch, breathing in very gently, coming back, elbow onto the knee, right arm reaching up, clench and unclench. Right stretch into the front, keep that alignment, keep that armpit open, keep that hip open. Then right reaching into the back and touch the floor. Now keep the spine elevated, keep your hips in alignment. Left arm reaching up to the ceiling, clench and unclench. The shoulder blade is relaxed, just open. And releasing the tension and touch the floor. Now you have released everything that worldly, everything that what people tell you what love should be, what a commitment should be, and coming into the practice of releasing the tensions of the rules, the marriage certificate, that you're buying something, you're owning something. You're liberating from that with this practice. You no longer give energy into those things. Now hold on to the front knee. Shoulders relax. Warm up the hips into the front and into the back few times. Very gently. Now stretch onto the side. And left arm on the top on the Garudasana. Now we did the Garuda Mudra. This is Garudasana, the posture of the ego. Now you understand the electricity of the body. You understand the emotion of the space of the mind, heart. And you're transcending even beyond that being of your joy and in love into more understanding and realization. Until your mind comes and spoil it for you. So be aware of this mind coming back. Stroke the third eye onto the crown. Spread the wings wider and touch the floor when you realize. When you really fall in love, it is a space of that you're falling in love with your divine, with your beloved, with your God. There is no promise to the future. There's no promise to the past. There's no guilt to it. But there's a moment meeting that into a plan. Strong on the pelvic floor, drop the knees, stretch the spine, calling and bringing the chest into the front, breathing into a gentle up face. Breathe out towards a down face. Right leg up into the back, right knee onto the right chest. Stretch back right knee onto the right elbow. Stretch back right knee onto the left elbow. Stretch back right foot into the front with the breath. Arms stretched into the back, interlacing the fingers, palms. Arms rest onto the ground, palms onto the namaskar. Now you hold the space of the sun within you. Let everything be around you and enjoying that space of the joy. Now, out of that vulnerability and openness, taking the mudra of the Virabhadrasana, opening up, right palm facing up. Now just see, you're enjoying this moment, the mind will come again until it comes back. I don't like this, I want that. Then it comes the politician, then it becomes the businessman, and it becomes the thief. Now start looking at your own thoughts, your body, your emotion, but with the understanding of that consciousness and elevate it. Arch. Take a deep breath in and coming back, elbow onto the knee. Left arm reaching up. If you want to bring that arm into the center of the room, or just keeping it there wherever that you are creating that awareness of being in that present moment, celebrating the joy of being. With that means being aware. Unconditionally, you're nurturing then the others to grow with your presence. This is what the sadhana, this is what the practice is. Left arm reaching into the back, touch the floor. Right arm reaching up to the ceiling, clench and unclench. Right reaching into the back, touch the floor. Drop the back knee onto the floor, holding onto the front knee. Push the hips into the front and into the back, release the tension. Now very gently arm stretch onto the side. Right arm on the top, onto the space of the Garudasana. This is where you end up doing what you did, what you were not doing. Because now you're governed by the moment because you're total, and that is the energy space of your being. Once you in totality, anything you're doing totally and enjoying the deep engaged sense into you are in the state of that realization. You're governed by a present awareness. Take a deep breath in, breath out, spread the wings wider and touch the floor. Breath out, reaching up to the ceiling, going to unconscious to release any tension in the rib cage, in the cavity. Touch the floor. Stronger into a place of a plank. You have the knees coming into a path. Completely breathe out and allow the curve from the base to the crown of the head. Breathing in, tongue roll up onto the upper palate, energy gaze onto the space of the third eye. Now, in a sense of something has happened and someone doesn't want to come back, that's also fine. In this understanding, you give the freedom to the person to be angry, get upset, and without judging, you allowing that space for her, its own ecosystem to work on, its own weather to release tension. People release tension in so many ways. Out of love, people scream because they don't have that consciousness and awareness to be gentle about it. But the person who is understanding and realize allow that space. Breathe out, anus lock, navel lock, throat lock. Coming into that completeness. You're freeing from your own emotions. Tongue roll up, breathing into the space of the cup. Breathe out, anus lock, navel lock, throat lock. Just holding the bandhas, energy centers, neutral spine. Left arm reaching up to the ceiling, opening up that space of the gesture of your life. In that space of the awareness, under the armpit. Very gently landing that shoulder blade and releasing tension. Right arm stretching into the front and releasing further tension that you are holding in the space of the body, you are holding in the space of the mind, and keeping that heart to elevate into that space. So we have all these intelligent energy centers more than the mind in the heart and the navel area. We call the three Devis, Shaktis. Take a deep breath in very gently, coming back. Breathe out to the cat, releasing tension that this body overly carrying and overly stagnating to carry furthermore by creating the space of that heaviness of the emotion in a body level. Breathing in, tongue roll up onto the upper palate, energy gaze onto the third eye. Switch the tongue right onto the upper palate, almost like moving, releasing that tension. Breathe out, anus lock, navel lock, throat lock into the cow. Very gently holding that intellectual energies that oriented in these energy centers. And stop playing the ego game, mind games. Breathing in very gently, coming back into the center, and right arm reaching up to the ceiling. Take a good level of extension to open up under the armpit. And dropping back shoulder blade and releasing further tensions. At this very moment in this world, it's very rare that people are in connection of love. They are more loving their space of this or that. And they put this connection to the other or connection to within their self. What I'm talking about, not the ego place, more on an ego place of their selves rather than the dimension of their being. And they totally lose the track of the sadhana. So observe even that the people are using right words now, right graphics, but watch out for your egos, how it wants to control the other, how it's control communities and manipulate the other's trust and vulnerability, and how we can get destroyed by that. And not only us, but also the other. So this is a great practice in trust and develop this center of the consciousness of the heart and taking it into the next level of the Turiya, evolving, transition. Take a deep breath in, very gently getting back in that space of openness, space that comfort of the moment. Now give a good rotation to the hips and the digestion and creating that space that you no longer have to use any words even to feel this energy and translating this energy into words. and just enjoy and start feeding in the space of the vibration. People don't understand that they kind of reject food as a discipline. But what is a discipline when the mind is the poison of your constant battering? What a rotation to the other side. And then you can very gently take your time and stretch the spine into the back. So this is the time that is very important rather than you thinking about the other and want it to be connected to the others. If you really want to know the others, it takes time to sit and feel the same practice that you're going through. You don't have to verbalize or don't have to talk anything. Just feel that joy, the joy that you're feeling because of the presence of that person or that moment. Because this is the energy that allows people to grow and allow people to become into their source of energy. So any weakness in this practice is weakness in living in thoughts and ideas and the manipulation of that. In this very moment, if you're even challenged by your identity or thoughts or emotions, open up into the space of the Turiya where totally a new cosmos that opening up and you're feeling from the heart. You have come into the awakening of the present kingdom of the vibration and the energy. This is what is the Easter is about. You're coming into the kingdom of that vibration and energy and love. And you can use so many words here if you want. I'm not a huge fan of words. Creativity. All great art happens. All great Turiya, the music happens. But when you come into this realization, come into the ground, arms stretching to the back into the child pose, coming into the space of the crown and lifting up the buttocks just to come into the vibration of the pituitary and the pineal energy. Roll back into the third eye, fist on the third eye. Now, what you have done today in this practice, when you wake up the spine, you will feel that you have expressed that unexpressed confusion, anger, whatever it is, the desire of the body. And all these places of the games that humans play in the mind, they don't have the energy. Now take a deep breath and unified into you, that where you experience of that grace, the ease, the way you are experienced, and you are that consciousness, and wake up the spine. one vertebra at a time. When you come into the true presence of that, from the space of the heart, when the space of the transformation, activating all the colors of the chakras. Now very gently coming into a seating posture, very gently without disturbing the sadhana, the practice of it. Now you have come to the primordial part of that realization. There's nothing to grow from here, but it is the source of the energy. So just observe the mind takes over all manipulation. So whether your breath is your ritual, whether your observation is your prayer, whether you observe under the name of this and that and that and this, that your mind still overtake. If you could just, in this few minutes with me, surrender to that, whatever the condition it may. Just pull the head away from it. Let's put the body away from it so that the ego is observed. So it's not about thinking that you're getting somewhere, but just in the sacredness of that vibration. Whatever is your belief system, with the full of a heart, just one time a day, if you're awakening up into this, that is enough. Repetition of unrealized practice does not take you anywhere. Every time you meet that space, your being is thrilled because your whole energetic system is electrified by this energy. So let this practice in this present time to be a place of that realization. So this is the evolution of the energy that is beginning of the experience of that space of consciousness, whether it's Christ for you in this time, for someone it might be a same consciousness in a different word from Bodhisattva or a prophet or simply a yoga practice. Now that you have become the space of the magnet like the sun, beaming, burning, the rest is just moves around you and the lila is happening. Now your focus on being in love with that space of the beloved. When you come into that realization, very gently twisting the spine on the out breath to the right. Change like formation, twisting the spine to the other side. Back to the center. Now this is the time in this special moment that if you love and your realization of love has come into that space, now because it's a relationship, whether it's a marriage, whether it's your son, whether it's your daughter, the biggest, greatest gift that you can give is people their freedom. Because the vibration is love, is free, free from the bondage of your own ego, all goes. When you come into that realization, gently stretch your arms onto the sides, release any tension that you're holding under the name of love. Don't make that same again. This is a time to release love from your verbal presence of business, political part of love. Because you so feel love, you have become greedy. This is the time to release that. Arms raised onto the ground and having the courage to come into this space of that realization. Palms onto the ground and gently protect the space of that ground and keep it clear, evolving. Coming into the third eye, maybe we see beyond our visions through that dignity and the beauty. Throat chakra, releasing the tension of the verbal part of this realization. Let your life be a prayer of love, bringing it into the space of the heart. Next time when you see, just feel the energy, feel the touch that you have towards your pets by touching them, by feeling them, by plant, a texture, coming into the space of the solar plexus, releasing that toxic and contaminated energies that no longer serve you, coming into the navel and reflecting things that no longer serves you and releasing and coming into the innocence of that space. Muladhara, grounding ourselves. And gently grounding into the deepest expression of your energy. Arms gently raised back onto the ground, cleansing the space of the existence. And you feel validated and coming into that space of that understanding where all creativity is beyond manifestation of that creativity, and create that touch of energy into that to activate. Comes onto the namaskar position of that realization, coming into that samadhi state of that consciousness. Coming into that space of that devotion, engagement of the energy. This is what they say, you can love your enemy in this state, not by the mind and the body, but on the space of that heart and the Turiya. Namaste. Now, today's practice is about bringing that, whatever the celebration for you in this journey, doesn't matter what the event is coming into, whether it's Easter or anything, these times for you to really come into that close connection within yourself, and also releasing those pockets that we hold as love. That's my partner, this is my son, this is my daughter, this is my faith. But when you come into the real realization of that love, you will understand it is nothing to do with a marriage certificate or finding security of love. It is a realization. And when that realization happens to you, you can love beyond what they are portraying as love. Because a lot of people are conditioned to love, behave as this, and behave like that, or I have conditioned you. When you first fall in love, you don't fall in love with these conditions. But what happens is it's a very, very gentle mistake people do. When you totally fall in love, you start loving yourself. And then when you don't know how to maintain that practice, you become greedy. So you want to get married, you want to put a ring. And that's the moment that you start having ownership of the other person. And if you are not in that practice, that ownership becomes stronger throughout the years. This is one situation only. This is not the situation, whatever you guys are going through this journey, this time. It can happen with an event, it can happen with a job, it can happen with finances, especially when finances also, if you're looking at a number as a success, then again the manipulation of the mind has taken control of the profit and loss. But when you come into this realization, you will start celebrating the richness, not just in numbers, but the richness of your breathing better, the richness of a bird chirping richness. It's almost like you're having your bank account and there is unlimited funds are coming, even not what you thought it was yours. So any gift that someone gives you a smile, saying hello, or connecting, or having that intimacy in the connection to that vibration and exchanging those energies, those are much more, much more. But because a lot of people can't do that, the world has created these things to say where the guidelines are. So the practice, it breaks you from the guidelines and allow you to become who you are, because you are that God and you're returning into that space, and your struggle is profitably finding that space. It's not going to happen. So wherever it is for you, take time in this Easter, where there is a lot of silence in a lot of areas, to contemplate on these energies and working within yourself and elevating yourself. And I will see next week an elevate version of you taking the practice from there, or just quickly going and finding the areas that you need to work and release up and coming back into your true nature. This is not something you need to achieve. This is something that you have achieved and come, or when you have entered into the world, you have got camouflage into the world rather than finding the space of your own true color. That's what it is. All right, my love to you all. Good to see you, Joe. Big hugs for you, Liz and Sylvia and Maria and Sid. Love to you all. Happy Easter.